Hey friends, I'm back. Okay, so my starter had gotten out of control huge. So the last 2 nights I took 200 grams each and I put it in the fridge. So this is a good visual too. You can see what happens to your starter when you keep it in the fridge. It just gets less bubbly and just way more thick. That's why if you want to start baking again, you have to put it back on the counter and kind of warm it back up. Anyway, so this is 400 grams of starter. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make these crackers. I made them for my family this weekend and they were insane. They devoured them. So this recipe is doubled. You can cut it in half if you don't want that much. But basically it makes like crispy, flatbread, crunchy, yummy deliciousness. So I'm starting with 400 grams of discarded starter, which I'm guessing 200 grams is about 3/4 of a cup. So if you want to cut it in half, however you want to do it, if you want to do it double like I'm doing, or if you want to cut it in half, if you don't have a scale, all the things. So what you do is you take 4 tablespoons of melted butter and you mix the starter in. Also, right now I have my oven preheated to 325. I also have a big half-sheet baking sheet lined with parchment paper, so you want to get that ready too. Basically, you're just going to mix this until it all blends. Now that I've got it a little bit mixed, I'm going to add my seasonings. So you can do rosemary, thyme, whatever you want. I am doing everything but the bagel, because it's delicious, and I'm going to put 4 teaspoons in there. So obviously if you were just going to make a single recipe, you would just do 2. So 4 teaspoons of everything but the bagel, or whatever seasoning you're choosing to season yours with. You can also just do salt. It's delicious plain. And then I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of salt. And then just keep stirring. You want to really get in there. Everything needs to be like fully incorporated. Seems good. Here's my half sheet with parchment. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to plop it down in the middle. And then you're just going to like smooth it out. I'm using this type of like cake scoop because it's got this angle. And then you're just gonna smooth it out. You just wanna make a thin layer. There's no like science to this. You do want it to be even so it'll cook evenly, bake evenly, but also you need to decide if you want it to just be kind of free form. That means whenever it's done, you'll just like kind of crack it and then the pieces will come off however they come off. If you want really uniform crackers, then what you do is you bake it for 10 minutes and then you score it just with whatever you use to score your bread, and make little squares. And then you continue baking it for another 30 minutes. Or if you're like me and you don't care, just gonna have it free form, then you just bake it all together and that's it. It's just kind of like a smoothed out blob. And I'm gonna put it in my 325 oven, and I'm gonna check on it at 30 minutes. And yeah, but anywhere from like a total of 30 to 50 minutes, really. Depends on your oven and if you're using convection or not. And then you just crack them. Anyway, yeah, I'll come back and show you the finished product. Okay, y'all, one thing I forgot to add was before you put it in the oven, just sprinkle the whole layer with sea salt or whatever salt you used before, because it makes it so much more yummy. All right, here she is. So I ended up having to bake it for like 58 minutes. When I made the single recipe, I only baked it for like 40 minutes, but the middle just wouldn't get done. So baked it for about 58 minutes for the double recipe, and I've let it cool for maybe like 20 minutes. So basically, all you're gonna do when you're done is just crack it up. So I read that you can keep it in a like glass Tupperware container or anything like that for up to a week, but I promise you it won't be around. That's it, delicious. Send me pictures. Okay, so I just wanted to hop back on here really quick. So my family and I have determined that we like the single recipe better because they're thinner. See how thick this is? Whenever you do just a single recipe, they're like this thin. So I think next time I will make the same amount. I'll just spread it out on 2 pans. This is the thicker and this is the thinner. They're still incredibly delicious, but the thinner ones are just a little bit tastier. All right,